So I've been reminded today, or drawn to somehow, Rick Hanson's book, The Buddha's Brain. If you haven't read it yet, it's an excellent read. That's if you like the brain stuff, the neuroscience. But it's very, very good. But the bit that struck me, I've decided to read it again to remind myself, because I read it quite a long time ago now. But the bit that sort of sticks out for me, which is the essence of the book, really, is that we have the capacity to change our lives through meditation. And it sounds like a very bold statement in some ways. But what Rick Hanson talks about is that we only have to change our mind in small ways for that to make big changes in the brain. And if we change our brain, then we change our lives. And I think for me, that always feels quite exciting because we then have the potential to shift, from where we are, especially if we're feeling stuck. And whether that's a sense of feeling stuck in the rut, having the same, the same habits and patterns that we're, of course, familiar with. And of course, the brain repeats them because that's what it knows. But the wonderful thing, I suppose, that's come from studies in neuroscience, studies in our brain, is understanding that we know now that the brain can change throughout our whole adult life. It's not limited to a certain time period. It's not limited to just when we're young. But no, that brain can change at any point through our lives. And the way to make our brain change is dependent on where we focus our attention. So if we focus our attention, just like you mentioned, and about sort of focusing on the positive, of course, we don't want to deny the negative or pretend it doesn't happen, but we can certainly then affect change in how we feel by changing the focus of our attention, which therefore changes how we feel and changes how we live and changes our experience. So it was a nice reminder. I mean, even just kind of flitting my eyes over the introduction and, seeing some of those words, kind of reminds us of why it's beneficial to meditate. And, it's much more than just feeling calm. Meditating is much more than just feeling a bit more balanced or peaceful. It goes so much deeper. Some might say on a spiritual level, but to effect physiological changes in the brain is extraordinary. It would be nice, actually, maybe there is something about how that would link with our spiritual sense, because of course, maybe it does. If we look at the spiritual sense of things, it's about finding meaning and purpose in life. So, of course, if we change the focus of our attention, we can then, we're able to create more meaning and purpose in our life. So just through those physiological changes can affect our sense of spirituality. Now that's cool. Hadn't even thought of it like that, but that's pretty cool. So Yeah, just wanted to sort of share that with you as a reminder, I suppose, of why we practice meditating, why we practice mindfulness, with this whole sense of changing our experience and changing the way we live. And I think, in a sense, each time we meet, and in your shares, there's always an element of some kind of movement, some progression, some shift in experience. So we're seeing it, amongst ourselves each time we sit in this way. So, yeah, I want to honour that, really. So, as always, thank you for your practice. So let's move into our second practice here today together. Just finding and taking your time to find that comfortable position. So just allowing the body to flex and bend and stretch, to come into that comfortable seat. And just ensuring that the body feels supported, that the body feels comfortable. And then you might like to close the eyes or lower the eyelids and hold a soft gaze. And knowing too that you can always open the eyes at any point through the practice, whether it's to steady yourself, just take in your surroundings. So the invitation there is always to check in with how you are. And then taking the moment to notice how the body is. And taking a moment to notice the feet, how they're connecting with the ground. Checking in with the legs. Noticing if there's any areas of tightness or tension. And if so, just taking a moment to consciously soften the muscles. Almost like we're giving the muscles permission to let go. Eventually bringing your attention into the pelvis. Feeling the firmness of your seat here in the chair or on the bed or on the cushion. Again, just seeing if we can allow the muscles to let go and soften. You can really feel the weight of the body here. And just for a moment, taking in the lower half of the body, from the feet to the pelvis. And seeing if we can tap into a sense of steadiness here. And then bringing your attention into the upper body. Lengthening in the spine. If it feels comfortable, having the body, the upper body sitting tall. Perhaps even opening up in the chest and the front of the body here, ever so slightly. Encouraging the shoulders to relax back and down. And allowing the arms and hands to rest easily, with the fingers soft and loose. And if it feels comfortable here, maybe taking a few deeper breaths, just in your own time, at your own pace. Really feeling into that expansion on the in-breath. And that sense of release and softening on each out-breath. And then releasing those deeper breaths whenever that feels enough for you. And then you might like to bring a gentle smile to the mouth. Just a tiny curvature at the corners of the mouth. Just enough to feel a lift in the face. Perhaps even with a sense of the corners of the eyes smiling. And as you breathe, just seeing if you can allow this lightness or softness, this glow, this warmth, whatever it is for you, allowing it to spread through the face, softening the muscles, relaxing the jaw. Perhaps even with a sense of softening the scalp. And softening the muscles in the neck. And encouraging the shoulders just to soften a little more. So first of all here, I'm going to invite you to bring your attention to your breathing. And so we'll practice using our mind, using our attention to notice what's here in the present moment. We'll also practice moving our attention around so that we can learn, know, and experience that we can change the focus of our attention at any other time that we need to, enabling us to focus on what we want to focus on, not necessarily what the mind brings up or what comes into our thoughts. So knowing that we can choose to focus on that, and we can also choose not to. So each time the mind wanders, just noticing this and gently guiding the attention back to wherever we are in the practice. And knowing too that this mind wandering is normal, usual, and typical. So it's okay, and it's very much part of the practice. It actually gives us the ability to keep training the mind to come back, to focus where we want it to focus on. So let's start by bringing our attention to our nostrils. And we're going to see if we can feel the movement of the air as it comes in the nostrils and then leaves the nostrils. So it may be that you can notice that as you breathe in, the air is slightly cooler compared to when you breathe out. Just see if you can keep your focus on this sensation for a few moments, and just bringing the attention back any time that it wanders. Remembering too that we're not trying to block certain things out. So we're not trying to block out thoughts or block out sounds or sensations. We can notice all of these things as part of our experience, but at the center, our focus is at the nostrils for the moment. So the invitation next is to drop your attention down to the tummy. So perhaps where the belly button is. You might place a hand here if it's helpful. And then the sensations we're noticing here are when we breathe in, the belly expands a little, or maybe the hand rises. And then on the breath out, the belly sinks in a little and the hand drops in. So again, in the same way, keeping these sensations of the breath in the tummy at the center of your attention. There'll be an awareness of thoughts, of sounds, of other sensations in the body. I just want to keep bringing the sensations in the tummy back to the center of our awareness. And it doesn't matter if you have to keep bringing your attention back over and over. In fact, that's great because it's exercising that muscle of attention. And then if you've had a hand on the belly, you might like to relax your hands back in your lap. And then all of us together, bringing our attention to our hands. Noticing any sensations in our hands. Anything like warmth or coolness. Perhaps where the hand makes contact with the lap. Any sense of tingling or vibration. Just noticing what you notice. And keeping that sensation at the center of your awareness. And then just to experiment here with focusing your attention, seeing if you can narrow the focus of your attention down onto the tip of the little finger on the right hand. So becoming aware of the tip of the little finger on the right hand. Keeping that little tip right at the center of your awareness. And then moving the focus of your attention again, this time onto the tip of your left thumb. And just noticing how that is to shift the focus of your attention. Becoming aware of the tip of your left thumb. And then shifting again, and becoming aware of the whole of both hands. Each finger, each thumb, each back of the hand, each palm. And shifting again, bringing your attention back into your breathing. Feeling the belly rise and fall as you breathe in and out. And then bringing your attention back up to the nostrils. Feeling the air moving in and out of your nostrils. And then together we'll notice the breath for a breath in and a breath out. And we'll bring this practice to a close. So taking your time as you shift from the practice. Bringing some gentle movement to the body maybe. And opening the eyes when you feel ready. Okay. Thank you for your practice. So, a lovely practice to do in that sense of just training the mind and kind of experimenting with shifting that focus of attention. And actually, the more we can do that, and also broadening our awareness, narrowing the awareness, is all kind of strengthening that flexibility that we have in the brain.